The council chamber was huge. Ben stood near the back, watching aliens from 100 different worlds argue about trade routes. He was bored. This was his third galactic summit this month, and they all felt the same. Talk, argue, vote, go home. Nothing exciting ever happened at these meetings. He was wrong. The main doors opened with a sound like thunder. Everyone stopped talking. Even the insect-like delegates from the outer rim went silent. A figure made of pure light walked into the room. No, not walked. She floated, her body shifting between solid form and pure energy. Stars seemed to dance inside her chest. "That's a," Jinnah whispered next to him. His colleague looked worried. "What's royalty doing here?" Ben had seen pictures of the before, but never in person. They were legends. Beings made of living starlight, older than most civilizations, powerful enough to destroy planets with a thought. They rarely left their territory, and they certainly didn't come to boring trade meetings. The princess stopped in the center of the room. Her voice filled the space without her moving her lips. It was like hearing music and words at the same time. "I am of House, Crown Princess of the Empire. I come with a declaration." Every ambassador leaned forward. The room felt heavy with attention. His glowing eyes scanned the crowd. Then they stopped on him. Ben felt his stomach drop. "Human delegate Ben," she said, "I have chosen you as my bonded mate. You will marry me according to the ancient rites of my people. This is a great honor." The silence that followed was absolute. Ben's brain refused to work. He looked at Jinnah. She looked back at him with wide eyes and a face that said, "You're dead." What?" Ben finally managed to say. "Marriage," repeated, "between you and myself. It will unite our peoples and bring glory to your species." Ben's diplomatic training kicked in. He took a breath. "Stay calm, be polite, don't start a war." "Your Highness," he said carefully, "I'm honored, really, but humans don't do arranged marriages, especially not with people we just met, so respectfully I have to decline." The room got colder, or maybe that was just his imagination. Tilted her head. "Decline." "Yes, I'm saying no, thank you, but no." For a long moment nothing happened. Then's light grew brighter. The temperature in the room actually did drop now. Frost formed on the windows. "You refuse me," she said. "It wasn't a question." "It's not personal," Ben said quickly. "I just don't know you. And honestly, I'm not really marriage material. I work too much. I forget birthdays. I'm terrible at—" "Then hear this," human interrupted. Her voice was like ice now. "You have one lunar cycle, 1 month of your Earth calendar. Accept my proposal or your species will face consequences beyond your comprehension. I have spoken." She turned and floated back toward the door. A massive figure made of red light appeared beside her. Military uniform, probably her commander. "Princess, are you certain about this threat?" the commander asked in a deep voice. "I am certain," said. "The human will accept, or humanity will learn what it means to insult the—" Then they were gone, the doors closed. The room exploded with noise. Jinnah grabbed Ben's arm and dragged him toward the exit. "Move, now." They made it to their quarters in the station's human section before Ben's legs stopped working. He sat down hard on a chair. "What just happened?" he asked. "You just rejected the most powerful princess in the galaxy," Jinnah said. She was packing back and forth. "Do you know what you just did? They have destroyed entire civilizations for lesser insults. They once turned a whole planet into glass because someone pronounced their emperor's name wrong. I'm not marrying someone I don't know." "You might not have a choice." Jinnah pulled up a screen. "Look, reports are coming in. Fleet movements near Earth's borders, 300 ships just sitting there, waiting." Ben felt sick. Why me? Why did she choose me? "I don't know, but we need to find out." Jinnah's fingers flew across her keyboard. "There has to be a reason. Don't do anything random. Every action has a purpose." Ben's phone buzzed. Messages from Earth. His brother, his sister Sara, his parents. Everyone had seen the news, everyone was worried. His boss's message was short: fix this. I can't just marry her, Bin said. Even if I wanted to. You know what happens during bonding rituals, right? Jinnah stopped packing. The other person dies. Exactly. They're beings made of energy. When they bond with solid matter, the matter gets converted to energy. Every species that tried to marry into royalty ended up dead. It's not malicious. It's just physics. We're not compatible. So this is a death sentence dressed up as a marriage proposal. Maybe that's the point, Bin said quietly. Maybe she wants to kill me without starting a war, make it look like an honor. Or maybe she doesn't know, Jinnah suggested. Maybe don't realize we can't survive the bonding. That seems unlikely. They're thousands of years old. They've had plenty of time to figure it out. His phone buzzed again. This time it was a direct message on the secure diplomatic channel. The sender was listed as VL. The message was simple. I do not wish to harm your people, but I cannot be refused. There are things you do not understand. 1 month, human, choose wisely. Bin showed it to Jinnah. She read it twice. She sounds almost sad. Sad or not, she's threatening Earth. No, Jinnah said slowly. Read it again. She said she doesn't wish to harm your people, not that she won't, that she can't be refused, like she doesn't have a choice either. Bin looked at the message again. Jinnah was right. Something else was going on here, something bigger than a simple marriage proposal. We need information, he said. Everything we can find about their bonding rituals, about Princess, and we need to figure out why she chose me specifically. 1 month, Jinnah reminded him. That's not much time. Then we better get started. Bin stood up and walked to the window. Outside, stars filled the darkness of space. Somewhere out there, 300 warships waited, and somewhere among them, a princess made of starlight waited for his answer. He had 1 month to decide. Marry an alien princess and probably die, or refuse and watch Earth burn. Some days he really hated his job. 3 days passed. 3 days of research, arguments, and bad coffee. Bin sat in the research lab of Earth's deep space vessel, the Mercury, surrounded by screens and data. His brother worked at the next station, running biological scans. Jinnah was on her 5th cup of coffee, reading ancient texts. This makes no sense, said, rubbing his eyes. Biology is completely incompatible with ours. They're made of controlled plasma and exotic energy. We're made of meat and bones. Mixing the two would be like mixing water and fire. What happens during their bonding ritual? Bin asked. The two beings share their life force, for that means sharing energy patterns for solid beings, pulled up a diagram. The solid matter gets converted, dissolved. The person becomes part of this energy field, permanently. So I would die. You wouldn't just die. You would stop existing as a separate being. Your consciousness might survive as part of hers, but Bin as an individual would be gone. Bin felt cold. Great, so my options are become a ghost inside an alien princess or let Earth get destroyed. There has to be something we're missing, Jinnah said. She looked exhausted. Why you? Why now? They have been around for millions of years. Why suddenly decide they want to marry a human? A woman's voice came from the doorway. Maybe they're desperate. Walked in. She was an AI researcher, specializing in alien technology and history. She carried a data pad and looked excited. I've been digging through the First Contact archives, said. The stuff they don't teach in schools, and I found something interesting. She threw her data onto the main screen. Video footage appeared. It was from 3 years ago at a small diplomatic function. Bin saw himself on screen, younger, talking to a group of alien delegates. I remember this, Bin said. This was my first off-world assignment. Nothing important happened. Watch, said, and zoomed in on the background. A figure made of light stood in the corner. Young Bin walked past her, stumbled slightly and reached out to steady himself. His hand touched her arm. For a moment his hand glowed. Bright white light spread up his arm to his shoulder. Then it faded. Young Bin kept walking, not noticing anything strange, but stood frozen, staring at her arm where he had touched her. He touched her, whispered. That should be impossible. And he survived, added. No conversion, no dissolution. He touched him and stayed solid. How? Bin stared at his own hand. I don't remember that at all. Pulled up another file. This might explain it. 2 weeks before that diplomatic function, you were involved in an accident. A dark matter reactor malfunction at the research station where you were inspecting safety protocols. Bin remembered. He had been in the wrong place at the wrong time. The reactor had leaked exotic radiation. He had been hospitalized for a week. The radiation should have killed you, continued. But instead, it did something else. It changed your molecular structure. The doctors couldn't explain it. They cleared you for duty because you seemed fine, but your body was altered at a level we didn't understand. Was already running scans. Can I see your arm? Bin held out his arm, ran a scanner over it. The screen lit up with colors that shouldn't exist. Incredible, breathed. Your cells are normal, but between them, there's something else, a field. It's like your body exists partially in normal space and partially in, somewhere else. Subspace maybe, or quantum foam. In simple words, please, Bin said. You're a bridge, explained. Normal matter on one side, energy on the other. You can touch things that others can't. You can survive interactions that would kill anyone else. So knows this, Jinnah said. She saw him survive touching her. That's why she chose him. But why marriage? Bin asked. If she wants to study me, there are easier ways. And exchanged looks, spoke carefully. What if it's not about studying you? What if it's about survival? He pulled up information about the Empire. I've been reading their public records. Their population hasn't grown in 10,000 years. It hasn't shrunk either. It's exactly the same. Every alive today is millions of years old. They can't reproduce, Bin realized. Can only share energy patterns with other, explained. They can't mix with anyone else. They're isolated, evolutionarily trapped, and eventually even beings made of energy wear out. They're dying, slowly, as a species. And I'm the first solid being who might be compatible with them, Bin finished. I'm their hope. Or their guinea pig, Jinnah added darkly. If word got out that a human can survive contact, every faction in the galaxy would want to study you, dissect you, figure out how to replicate it. A new alert appeared on screen. Urgent message. Opened it. More video footage, this time recent. It showed a meeting of nobles. They were arguing. The footage had been leaked by an unknown source. A red-colored spoke. The princess is foolish. This human is too valuable to waste on sentiment. We should take him, study him, use his genetics to create weapons. Imagine who can touch matter directly. We would be unstoppable. Another voice, older, protects him. If we move against the human, she will declare war. Then we move against her first. The footage ended. The room was silent. They're going to try to kill him, said, or kidnap him. Why did someone leak this to us? Jinnah wondered. As if in answer, another message arrived. This one was marked urgent and personal, addressed to Bin only. He opened it. His voice filled the room, recorded but clear. Bin, by now you know the truth. You know why I need you, but you must also know the danger. My people are divided. Some see you as hope, others see you as a tool. My rivals will try to take you before the bonding can occur. They will take you apart to learn your secrets. She paused. Even in a recording, she sounded tired. I offered marriage because it is the only protection I can give you. As my bonded mate, you would be under my direct protection, untouchable by law, but I understand your fear. The bonding ritual has killed every solid being who attempted it. You would be the first to survive, if you survive. Another pause. I sent you this message because you deserve the truth. In 1 month, my rivals will make their move. They will come for you whether you accept my proposal or not. At least as my mate, you would have a chance. Refuse, and you will be taken anyway. The only difference is that I cannot protect you then. The message ended. Ben sat back in his chair. So I'm trapped. Accept and probably die in the bonding ritual. Refuse and definitely die when her rivals take me. There might be a third option, said slowly. If we can figure out exactly what makes you special, maybe we can replicate it, or use it to modify the bonding ritual. Make it safe, added, so you can bond with her without dying. Is that possible? Ben asked. I don't know, admitted, but it's better than the other options. We would need technology, said, access to their medical data, their ritual procedures. And that's all in territory, Jenna finished, behind their borders where we can't go. Ben's phone rang. He answered it. His sister Sora's face appeared. She was in her flight suit in the cockpit of her fighter. Big brother, she said, you need to see this. She switched the view to external cameras, ships, dozens of them, moving toward human colonies. It's starting, Sora said. They're not waiting for the month to end. Someone just fired the first shot. The alarm screamed through the mercury. Ben ran toward the bridge with Jenna right behind him. When they arrived, the main screen showed a view that made his blood turn cold. Human colonies on the outer rim were under attack, not by forces, by someone else. The attacking ships were, but their colors were wrong, dark purple and black instead of white and gold. Who are they? Ben demanded. Captain Wu, Earth's military admiral, stood at the command console. He was an older man with gray hair and steady hands. According to our intelligence, they belong to Lord Thane, one of his rivals. He's claiming that your refusal to marry the princess proves humanity is hostile to the Empire. That's insane, Jenna said. That's politics, Wu replied grimly. He's using you as an excuse to start a war. If he conquers Earth, you become his prisoner instead of his prize. On screen, human fighters engaged the ships. Ben watched his sister Sora's squadron launch from their carrier. The small human fighters looked like insects next to the massive vessels. Can we win? Ben asked quietly. Wu didn't answer immediately. That told Ben everything he needed to know. The first engagement went badly. Ships could phase through attacks. Human missiles passed right through them without hitting. Energy weapons scattered against their shields. The alien vessels struck back with beams of pure light that cut through human ships like paper. But then something changed. Sora's voice came over the communication channel. All fighters switched to kinetic weapons. Bullets and missiles, not energy. They're matter-based. They can't phase through solid objects. The human fighters adapted quickly. They switched to old-fashioned ballistic weapons, machine guns, explosive missiles, the kind of weapons that seemed primitive compared to energy beams. It worked. The ships couldn't phase through bullets. A missile caught one of them and the ship exploded in a burst of light. They're vulnerable to physical matter, said from beside Ben. Their evolution made them powerful against energy, but they forgot about simple physics. The battle turned into a stalemate. Human forces couldn't match this power, but they could hurt them. Both sides pulled back, regrouping. Then the screen lit up with new contacts. More ships, but these were white and gold. Fleet, Wu said, moving to intercept Thane's forces. Ben watched as the princess's ships positioned themselves between the human colonies and Lord Thane's attackers. A message came through on all channels. His voice. Lord Thane, you attack without the council's approval. You bring shame to our people. Stand down immediately. Thane's reply was cold. You defend these primitives, princess. You would betray your own kind for a human male. I defend the law, said. The human has 1 month to answer. You violate sacred tradition. Tradition is dead. The human is a resource. He belongs to the Empire, not to your romantic fantasies." The two fleets faced each other. For a moment, Bin thought they would fight, civil war among them because of him. But spoke again. "I will give you one chance, Thane. Leave human space, now. Or what? You will fight your own people." "If I must." Thane laughed. "You don't have the strength, Princess. Your fleet is outnumbered. Stand aside." Bin made a decision. He walked to the communication panel and opened a channel. "This is Bin. Princess, Lord Thane, both of you listen. I'll make you a deal." Wu grabbed his arm. "What are you doing?" "Stopping a war," Bin said. He continued speaking into the microphone. "I'll marry Princess. I'll accept the bonding ritual, but only under my conditions." Appeared on screen, her glowing form confused. "What conditions?" "First, all attacks on human territory stop immediately. Second, we do the ritual in neutral space, with witnesses from multiple species. Third, we figure out how to make the ritual safe. I'm not dying if I can help it." "Impossible," Thane said. "The ritual cannot be changed." "Then we make it possible," Bin replied. "You want to study me? Fine. Let your scientists work with our scientists. Figure out why I can touch and survive. Use that knowledge to make the bonding work for both of us." "And if it cannot be done?" asked softly. "Then at least we tried," Bin said. "But I think it can work. I have to believe that, because the alternative is everyone dying." Silence on the channels, then spoke. "I accept your terms." "Fool," Thane spat. "He's stalling. He'll never go through with it." "Then you have nothing to fear from my plan," Bin said. "If I refuse in the end, you can do whatever you want, but give us a chance to do this right." More silence. Then, surprisingly, Thane laughed. "Very well, human, you have courage, I'll give you that. I will allow this attempt. But know this, if you fail, if you run, if you break your word, I will personally reduce your Earth to atoms. You have 2 weeks. After that, my patience ends." The channels went dark. Thane's fleet pulled back. Ships remained in position, protecting the human colonies. Wu stared at Bin. 2 weeks, he gave you half the time promised." 2 weeks is better than 2 minutes, Bin said. His hands were shaking now that the adrenaline was fatting. "We work with what we have." Jinnah pulled him aside. "You're really going to do this, marry her? You have a better idea. What if the ritual kills you? Then at least Earth survives. That's worth something." A new message arrived. Private channel again. "I'm coming to your ship," she said. "We need to talk alone." Wu shook his head. "I don't like this." "She could kill us all from orbit if she wanted to," Bin pointed out. "If she wants to talk, we talk." An hour later, Bin stood in an empty meeting room. The door opened. Entered, her light dimmed to a soft glow. This close, he could see that she wasn't just light. There were patterns in her form, like constellations moving under her skin. "You surprised me," she said. "I thought you would keep refusing." "I'm full of surprises," Bin replied. "Why did you really choose me?" She moved closer, not threatening, just curious. "Because when you touched me 3 years ago, I felt something I hadn't felt in a million years. Warmth, physical sensation. For just a moment, I remembered what it was like to be solid." "Your people used to be solid." "Long ago, we evolved beyond matter, or we thought we did, but we lost something in the process, the ability to grow, to change, to create new life." She looked at her hand, watching the light flow through it. "We're eternal but sterile, powerful but alone. When I touched you, I felt hope. Hope that I can save your species." "Hope that both our species can be saved," she corrected. "Thane isn't the only threat. There are others in the galaxy who see humans as weak. If we can bond, if we can prove that different species can truly unite, we change everything." "No pressure," Bin said with a weak smile. Almost smiled back. "I know I gave you no choice. I know you're frightened. But I promise you this, I will do everything in my power to keep you alive. You are not a tool to me. You are not a resource. You are a person who deserves to survive this." Why do I feel like there's a but coming? But the ritual is dangerous. Even with both our scientists working together, the chances of success are small. You will be in pain. You might lose yourself. And if something goes wrong, the energy released could destroy both our ships. So I could take a lot of people with me. Yes. Ben walked to the window. Outside, stars filled the darkness. Somewhere out there, his sister flew patrol. His brother worked on a solution. Jinnah organized data. Earth waited, everyone depending on him to make this work. 2 weeks, he said. Where do we even start? The Heart Nebula said, it's our most sacred place, the birthplace of the, if anywhere has the technology to modify the ritual, it's there. Then that's where we go. Thane will try to stop us. I know. You could die before we even reach the nebula. I know that too. Looked at him with something like respect. You're braver than I expected. I'm terrified, Ben admitted. But someone once told me that courage isn't about not being afraid. It's about doing what's right even when you're scared. Your people have a saying, said, fortune favors the bold. Let's hope fortune is paying attention. The journey to the Heart Nebula took 5 days. The fleet moved slowly, a mix of human and ships traveling together for the first time in history. Sara's fighters flew escort. Warships surrounded them like protective wolves. Ben spent most of the trip in the science lab with a team of scientists. They were strange to work with. The aliens didn't have bodies in a normal sense, so they operated their equipment by thought alone. Screens and tools floated around them, controlled by their energy fields. Your cellular structure is fascinating, one of the scientists said. Her name was too complex to pronounce, so she told him to call her. You exist in 2 states at once, solid matter and quantum probability. It shouldn't be possible. Yeah, I'm full of impossible things, Ben muttered. He was tired. They had run tests on him for hours, blood samples, energy scans, quantum measurements. He felt like a science experiment. Worked at the next station comparing human and biology. I think I see the problem, he said. The bonding ritual works by synchronizing energy patterns. 2 merge their frequencies until they're in harmony. But Ben isn't just energy. He's matter too. The ritual tries to convert his matter to match the energy, and that's what kills people. So how do we stop the conversion? Ben asked. We don't, said a new voice. Everyone turned. A figure made of ancient golden light floated into the lab. The other immediately bowed. Ben got the sense he was meeting someone very, very important. I am called Elder Mora, the being said. I have existed since the first stars formed. I remember when my people were solid like you. You were solid once, Ben asked. Millions of years ago, we were flesh and bone like humans, but we evolved. Or rather, we were forced to evolve. A great catastrophe threatened our world. We had to choose, die as solid beings or transform into energy and survive. We chose survival. But you lost something, Ben said quietly. We lost everything, Mora replied. The ability to touch, to feel physical sensation, to create new life from the joining of 2 beings. We became eternal, but we stopped being alive in the way that matters. She moved closer to Ben. Her light felt warm on his skin. You are unique, Ben of Earth. Your body carries the memory of both states, solid and energy, matter and light. You are what we once were and what we became, existing together. Can you help me survive the bonding? I can try something that has never been attempted. Instead of converting you fully to energy, we will create a bridge. You will remain solid but connected to through your quantum field. The pain will be immense. Your body will fight the connection, but you might survive. Might, Ben repeated. What are my actual chances? Mora was quiet for a moment. 20%, perhaps less. The room went silent, looked horrified, dimmed her light sadly. 20%, Ben said. That's better than 0. You're insane, said. We need more time, more research. We don't have time, Bin replied. We have 9 days left. After that, Thane attacks. Better to die trying than to die doing nothing. That night, Bin couldn't sleep. He walked through the ship's observation deck. Through the windows, he could see the Heart Nebula growing closer. It was beautiful. Clouds of gas and light in colors that didn't have names. Stars being born in real time. Can't sleep either. Stood behind him. In the dim light, she looked almost solid, almost human. Nervous about our wedding, Bin joked weakly. This is not how I imagined this would go, admitted. She came to stand beside him. I thought it would be simple. I would ask, you would accept, we would bond, and everything would be solved. Nothing is ever simple. No, she looked at him with her glowing eyes. Are you angry with me for forcing this choice on you? Bin thought about it. At first, yes, but now, I understand. You're trying to save your people. I can respect that. I just wish there was another way. If I could take your place in the pain, I would, said softly. Would you really? Yes, you're doing this for your species, for peace. You deserve better than a 1 in 5 chance of survival. They stood in silence for a while, watching the nebula grow closer. Can I ask you something? Bin said. What happens if I do survive? What would it be like being bonded to you? I would always know where you are, said. I would feel your emotions and you would feel mine. In moments of need, we could share thoughts, but you would remain yourself. Your mind would be your own. Like being married for real, Bin said. Perhaps. I've never been married before, have you? No, never found the right person, or any person really. I work too much. Made a sound that might have been a laugh. We are a strange pair, two people who never wanted marriage, binding ourselves together to save our worlds. History is going to have a field day with this story. If we survive to tell it. The next morning, they arrived at the Heart Nebula. The fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel into a sea of color and light. Bin had never seen anything so beautiful. But they weren't alone. Warning alarms rang through the ship. Sensors picked up signatures. Thane's fleet was here waiting. He knew we were coming. Sara's voice came over the communication system. It's a trap. Ships emerged from the nebula's gas clouds. Dozens of them. Thane's dark purple vessels surrounded the human and Alliance. Thane's voice boomed across all channels. Did you really think I would let you reach the sacred grounds? That I would allow this farce to continue? Surrender the human. He belongs to the Empire. He belongs to no one, replied. Stand down, Thane. This is your last warning. You cannot win this fight, Princess. I have more ships, more weapons. Give me the human or I will take him by force. Bin looked at Wu. Can we fight through? Not without heavy losses, Wu said grimly. He has us surrounded. Even if we win, we'll lose too many ships. Then we don't fight, Bin said. An idea was forming. Crazy but possible. Elder Mora, how close are we to the actual ritual site? Inside the nebula, perhaps 30 minutes at full speed. Can we make it in a small ship, something fast? Perhaps, but the nebula's energy will interfere with most systems. Not with mine, said, understanding his plan. My people's ships are powered by the same energy as the nebula. We could reach the center. Then that's what we do, Bin said. You, me, Elder Mora, and whoever else we need. We go in fast while everyone else keeps Thane busy. That's suicide, Jinna protested. If something goes wrong in there, no one can rescue you. If we stay here, Thane takes me anyway, Bin replied. At least this way I have a chance. Sora's face appeared on screen. I'll buy you time, big brother. Take my best pilots. We'll make Thane regret coming here. 15 minutes later, Bin stood in a small shuttle with Elder Mora and a scientist named Jin who specialized in quantum mechanics. The doors closed. Through the window, he saw human and ships moving into position. Ready? Asked. No, Bin admitted, but let's go anyway. The shuttle launched. Behind them, the battle began. Weapons fire lit up space like fireworks, but Bin couldn't watch. He had to focus on what came next. The shuttle plunged into the Heart Nebula. Colors surrounded them. The ship shook and rattled. Alarms beeped warnings about energy interference, but kept them steady, her will guiding the vessel through the chaos. Finally, they emerged into a calm space at the nebula's center. A structure floated there, ancient, massive, made of crystallized light. "The first temple," Mara said quietly. "Where the first were born, this is where we will attempt the bonding." They docked with the temple. Ben stepped out on two floors that glowed beneath his feet. Everything here felt old, sacred, like walking through history itself. "We must hurry," Jin said. "Lord Thane will break through eventually." They set up the equipment in the temple's central chamber. Circles of light on the floor, monitoring devices, checked everything twice. "Are you ready?" Elder Mora asked Ben. She looked back at him, her light dim with concern. "I'm ready," Ben said. It was a lie. He was terrified, but he stepped into the circle anyway. Stepped into the circle across from him. Their eyes met. "Thank you," she said softly, "for your courage." "Don't thank me yet," Ben replied. "I might still run." "You won't," said with certainty. "You're too stubborn. You don't even know me. I'm about to know everything about you. That's how this works." Elder Mara began to speak in an ancient language. The temple responded. Light rose from the floor surrounding both of them. Ben felt electricity on his skin, then heat, then pain. The bonding had begun. Pain, that was Ben's entire world now. Every cell in his body felt like it was being torn apart and rebuilt at the same time. He screamed but couldn't hear his own voice. The light was too bright, the sensation too overwhelming. Through the agony he felt, not just near him but inside him, her thoughts, her memories. Millions of years of existence flooded into his mind all at once. He saw the birth of stars, the death of worlds, the loneliness of an immortal being watching everyone else fade away. And she felt him, his short human life, his family, his fears, his hopes, everything that made Ben who he was exposed to her like an open book. "Hold on's voice echoed in his head. "Don't let go, stay with me." But his body was fighting the connection. His solid matter wanted to stay solid. The energy wanted to convert him. He was being pulled in two directions at once, and something had to break. "It's not working," shouted from outside the circle. "His biosigns are crashing, he's dying." "We must stop," Jin urged. "No," Elder Mora said firmly. "Watch." Something changed. Ben didn't let himself be pulled. Instead, he pulled back. He grabbed onto that energy trying to convert him and held it, forced it to match his rhythm instead of the other way around. It was impossible. Humans weren't strong enough to wrestle with energy, but Ben was stubborn. His mother had always said he was too stubborn for his own good. She was right. The energy patterns shifted. Instead of converting Ben to pure energy, the energy began to solidify. Just a little, just enough. Gasped. Through their connection, Ben felt her shock, and then her wonder. Because for the first time in a million years, Princess felt solid flesh reform on her body. Hands, arms, a physical form that could touch and be touched. The light faded. The ritual ended. Ben collapsed to the floor, gasping for air, every muscle hurt. He felt like he had run a marathon while being struck by lightning. But he was alive. Stood across from him, and Ben stared in amazement. She still glowed, but now she had a physical form, a body made of light and matter combined. She looked down at her hands, flexing fingers that were both solid and translucent at the same time. "I can feel," she whispered. Tears formed in her eyes, light tears glowing as they fell. "I can touch things again." Elder Mora stepped forward. Her ancient light was brighter than Ben had ever seen it. "Impossible, you are both. You exist in both states, energy and matter together." Ran scanners over both of them. This is incredible. The bonding didn't convert either of you. It merged you. You're connected but separate. And Princess, your molecular structure, you're partially solid now. How do you feel? Jin asked. Complete, she said simply. For the first time in forever, I feel complete. Bin tried to stand. His legs shook but was there helping him up. Her hand was warm and solid in his. Through their bond, he could feel her emotions. Joy, relief, hope. We did it, he said, still not quite believing it. You did it, corrected. You were strong enough to change the ritual itself. You didn't just survive, you transformed it. An explosion shook the temple. Alarms rang out, checked his tablet. Thane's forces, they broke through the defensive line, they're coming here. We need to leave, Jin said urgently. But Elder Mora held up a hand. No, stay, something must be done first. She raised her arms and spoke in that ancient language again. The temple responded. Light spread from the central chamber, flowing through corridors and rooms. Through their bond, Bin felt what was happening. A message, being sent to every in the galaxy simultaneously. What did you do? Asked. I showed them, Mora replied. I showed them what happened here. Every now knows that the bonding succeeded, that you both survived, that there is hope for our people. Thane will see it too, Bin realized. Yes, and he will know he has already lost. They made it back to the shuttle just as Thane's ships arrived at the temple. The small vessel launched, racing through the nebula. Behind them, dark purple ships gave chase. We're not going to make it, said, watching the sensors. They're too fast. But then something strange happened. The ships chasing them slowed, stopped. Through the communication channel, confused voices spoke. Is it true? Did the princess really bond successfully? The elder's message shows it happened. Both survived. If it's possible, if we can bond with solid beings. One by one, Thane's ships stopped pursuing. Some even turned away, heading back toward space. Thane's voice came over the channel, filled with rage. You fools, it changes nothing. The human is still a threat, come back. But his forces didn't listen. They had seen hope, and they chose it over war. The shuttle emerged from the nebula into the battle zone, but the battle had stopped. Human and ships floated in an uneasy ceasefire. Everyone had seen Elder Mora's message. Everyone knew what happened. Opened a channel to all ships. This is Crown Princess. The bonding ritual was successful. Bin and I are both alive, both changed. What we accomplished today proves that different species can unite without destruction. I call for an immediate end to all hostilities. Silence, then Sara's voice filled with relief. Big brother, are you okay? I'm alive, Bin replied. Tired, in pain, and pretty sure I aged 10 years but alive. You're an idiot, his sister said affectionately, but I'm glad you're okay. Admiral Wu's voice joined in. What are your orders, Bin? My orders? Since when do I give orders? Since you married into the most powerful royal family in the galaxy, Wu replied with dry humor. That makes you kind of important. Bin looked at. Through their bond, he felt her amusement. What do? He asked her. We change everything, she said. They returned to the fleet together. The meeting that followed included representatives from both species. Thane was there too, his purple light dim with defeat. You may have won today, Thane said too, but this changes nothing, the Empire. The Empire will change, interrupted. Because we have no choice. Our people were dying, Lord Thane, slowly, inevitably. Now we have hope, and you would throw that away because of pride. This human could still be a weapon, Thane argued. His genetic structure will be studied, agreed. But not by force, not through dissection. We will work with humanity, share knowledge, help each other grow. Elder Mora appeared on the screen. I support the princess. What happened today was unprecedented, but it shows us the way forward. We must offer the bonding ritual to other species, learn from them, grow with them. And if others cannot survive the ritual, Thane challenged. Then we modify it further, Bin spoke up. I survived because of a freak accident that changed my biology, but now that we know it's possible, we can replicate it, make it safe for others. Is already working on it with your scientists. Nodded from his station. Preliminary data suggests we can create a treatment, something that would allow other humans to safely bond with. It'll take time, but it's possible. And not just humans, Jin added. Other species too. We've discovered that the principle can be applied to many different forms of life. The implications hit everyone at once. They wouldn't be isolated anymore. They could connect with the galaxy, grow, evolve, live. Thane was silent for a long moment. Finally, he dimmed his light in a gesture of submission. I yield to the Council's wisdom, but I will be watching, Princess. If this human betrays us. He won't, said with certainty. I know his heart. He wants peace as much as I do. The meeting ended. Treaties were signed. Plans were made. Earth would establish an embassy in space, would station ambassadors on Earth. Joint research facilities would be built. The galaxy would watch this new alliance and learn from it. 3 months later, Bin stood on a platform overlooking the first human colony. Buildings made of both solid matter and crystallized light. People of both species walking together. Children playing in parks where the grass glowed softly at night. Stood beside him. She could shift between her energy form and her solid form now, choosing which state suited her needs. Right now, she was solid, her hand warm in his. What are you thinking? She asked. That 3 months ago, I was just a bored diplomat who hated meetings, Bin said. Now I'm married to an alien princess, helping to reshape the galaxy. It's surreal. Regrets? Sometimes, he admitted. The bonding changed me. I'm not fully human anymore. I can feel things I shouldn't be able to feel. See colors that don't have names. It's strange. Would you undo it if you could? Bin thought about it. Through their bond, he could feel his presence always, a warmth in the back of his mind. He knew she was there supporting him, and he supported her in return. They were partners in every sense of the word. No, he said finally, I wouldn't change it. Jinnah walked up to join them. She carried a data pad and looked excited. You need to see this. Found something in the old archives. What kind of something? Bin asked. A message from the unexplored rim of the galaxy. It's been waiting for us to be ready to hear it. She showed them the screen. The message was simple, written in a language that predated most civilizations. We have watched your species, humans of Earth. We have seen your courage. We have seen your ability to bridge what others thought unbridgeable. When you are ready, come find us. We have much to teach you. Bin stared at the message. There's someone else out there, someone ancient. Another species that wants to meet us, said. Another opportunity. Or another challenge, Jinnah added. The message is millions of years old. Whatever sent it has been waiting a very long time. Bin looked out at the colony, at the two species working together, at the future they were building. Then he looked at his partner, his wife, his connection to a whole new way of existing. What do you think? He asked her, ready for another adventure. Smiled, it was a human gesture she had learned from him. With you, always. Then I guess we have a message to answer. Far above them in orbit, human and ships prepared for a journey, to the unexplored rim, to whatever waited there. Together they would face it, because that was what they did now. Humans and matter and energy, different but united. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries and dangers, but it was also full of possibilities. And as long as they faced it together, Bin believed they could handle anything. Even alien princesses, with marriage ultimatums. He smiled at the thought. 3 months ago, he would have laughed if someone told him this would be his life. Now he couldn't imagine living any other way. The adventure was just beginning.